Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm gonna share to you 4 useful tips on how to keep your focus during the quarantine season. So, medyo naglisod gud ko guys no because lisod ka I lost I left my stand bitaw for my gadget. That's why it's hard for me to really position my iPad for me to be able to film kay nangita lang kog notebook and then my phone para mo stand lang yun ang ang iPad so I can film. So for the sake of filming, we'll do everything. But anyway, yeah, going back to the topic. So for today, as I've mentioned during my intro, I will share to you 4 useful tips on how to keep your focus during the quarantine season. So it's been like what, 3 weeks in Cebu and 4 weeks naman siguro for Manila and other areas like majority sa Luzon na nag-quarantine and enhanced community quarantine. So we've been really, I don't think it's a struggle, probably struggle, but I think the best term is, I think we're learning, to put it in a more positive perspective, no? We're learning every day, every time. Sa tanan nga mga nanghitabo, every day we learn to spend time with our family, or we, we're able to spend time with our family and we're able to, think about the future. We have so much alone time good to think about the future, our next big step. So mo na siya. So for today, I will share to you mga na-come up na ko nga for useful tips para you will still keep your focus during this quarantine season, because it's for me more easy ra man gud kaayo nga we falter or we murag ma-defeat sa situation because nga of this is not normal, this is something new to us, wa gid ta na prepared for this. But I think there's a silver lining for sure in the middle of everything, na atay mga na-learn, na atay mga kanang probably we come out strong after this kanang situation. So I'll share to you the first tip. So the first tip for us to keep our focus during the quarantine season is number 1. Before pa di ko mo start, kanang disclaimer lang, if you think the tips are useful, then I will encourage you to kanang start it sa imong self and find your rhythm. Whatever works for you, do it for as long as you think it's helping you, then I'm all for it. But if you think that some of the tips aren't useful, then feel free to comment down below what you think are the useful tips na pwede nimo ma-suggest to me and the rest of the netizens or all the people out there, so they can also adapt it in their lives. So first tip is, this is very basic and to me it has been kanang proven na good effective in my life. Number 1 is fix your eyes on Jesus. So it's not like you don't fix your eyes on Jesus if the situation is good or if it's normal. All I'm saying is you have to fix your eyes on Jesus all the time, but there are situations mang yun nga makalimot ta who we really are and our value in Christ. To this time, I think it's more like a reminder nga we're not alone, we're in Christ, and when we say we're in Christ, God is in control in our lives. Always fix your eyes on Jesus. So there are certain more tangible things, probably tangible steps that I can share to you how to keep your kanang how to fix your eyes on Jesus. Number 1 step how to fix your eyes on Jesus is to spend alone time with Christ. So what I usually do is that I wake up really early in the morning, like today. I think I woke up around 4. I was looking for a space where I can meditate. So usually when you start really early, it's really hard. It's a battle, no? But kanang for you to make sure nga you would really find peace and be able to spend quality time with God, try to prepare yourself in simple ways. Like for example, for me, I drink coffee. For other pastors that I've met in church, they start by brushing their teeth just to release that sleepy mode sa imuha. So earlier what I did was I'm a coffee lover, so I started with a cup of coffee and then I adto ko gawas, ari ko CR para lang yun ma-energize ko, and then I start by, I think ganiha akong giusab. Usually manggod, normally I start by listening to a Christian song. But earlier, I think akong gisugdan was once na hype up na ko after sa coffee kay I started by kanang praying yun. Nag-start ko prayer. So, I started with thanksgiving, but it started with acknowledging God, and then my intentions, my petitions, so those kind of flows of prayer. And then after which I listened to Christian songs. So I think two songs. My favorite really is um, I Touch the Sky When My Knees Hit the Ground by Hillsong. That's really my favorite, my go-to Christian song yun. And then two songs ang kalimut ko, I think Scandal of Grace, ang second song akong gipamina. So that really started my day. So I prayed, and then the next step that I did, how I fixed my eyes on Jesus, is I read the Bible. So I don't really test. I'm not saying you will read like one chapter one whole day, or read the half of like all New Testament no, that's not my point. My point is read the Bible, make sure nga ano lang siya, dili siya too much, like work. Eventually you would learn to love it. It's just like reading a book nga mag-start ka small until interested ka, madugay mahurot nimo one chapter, even one book in just 3 hours. But just to start, if you're not really, wala pa ka naka-start with a Bible reading habit, start with one chapter a day. There are chapters nga taas, there are chapters nga ano mubo, but eventually you will get the hang of it. So start by finishing one chapter a day. Like ako, usually, even right now, I've been a Jesus follower for like 4 years, but I still struggle. So what I do is ako siyang putol-putol, ako siyang murabag, if di mo kaya ang usa ka whole, hinahinaya lang, gagmaya lang. So I start with one chapter a day. Like that's my usual routine, one chapter. I was able to finish Colossians, Philippians. Right now I'm reading Thessalonians. Yeah, I posted something on Facebook which is really very inspiring out of my kanang Bible reading ganiya. So these things, good, these steps on how to fix your eyes on Jesus has been really helpful. Have been really helpful. It would really, because God is supreme, diba? So we know that He controls everything. So by acknowledging that God is in control, then to me, that's one way to keep, I think the fundamental way to keep your focus during this quarantine season, because there's nowhere to go, man. You cannot, well, of course there are other ways to reach out to people, but ultimately we can only do so much. But you know that God is kanang beyond measure, so di gid nato ma-compare ang kaya niya buhaton. So that's why first tip to keep focused during the quarantine season is to fix your eyes on Jesus. And I'll share to you some, I'll have notes here as you can see, like at least 3 lang ka Bible verses which relates to anxiety and how to make sure that you trust the Lord. Okay, number 1 pa man tanga tip, diba? Fix your eyes on Jesus. How to make sure that, or how like comforting and encouraging mga Bible verses, and will help, be for sure helpful during the quarantine season. Number 1 is, this is actually one of my personal favorites, but Joshua chapter 1 verse 9. So I'm using NIV, by the way, New International Version. So it's your preference, whatever Bible kanang say version sa inyong Bible na gamitin. Personally, well, my Bible is actually ESV, this one. But I'm also using NIV sa iPad. So my Bible sa iPad is NIV, and my kanang physical Bible, so tawag is kanang ESV, para sayon na siya i-interpret. So Joshua 9 chapter 1 verse 9, have I not commanded you, ano to? Nanitingog, I don't know. Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous, do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. So this is an assurance to us na never be afraid. God already, iyan ang i-overcome na-overcome na niya ang world. So why should we worry? So instead of worrying, we should be encouraged. We should be strong, knowing that the Lord will be with us wherever we go. So sometimes we forget that because we're too focused on the situation. We're too focused on the problem or challenges. But if we focus and fix our eyes on Jesus and meditate on His Word, just say for example Joshua chapter 1 verse 9, it's really encouraging. We have to trust the Lord because wherever we go, He's with us. So if makalimutan na, there's a tendency nga ma-stress ta, but if we continue to meditate that, then definitely it's gonna be a way to go.
So that's still part one. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.